Welcome YouTube to a new episode from MetalAndStone. Well, today we will be discussing how to make a battle jacket. Now let's get to it. Now the first thing I want to talk about is the rules. There's only one rule to keep in mind, and that's one only. There's no rules, meaning you can bedazzle it, you can stitch it, you can glue it, you can do whatever you want with it. There are no rules, so just keep that in mind. Now that we got the rules out of the way, let's discuss a few things that we will need, which is a jean jacket, patches, big, small, any size you want. You can get them online, Amazon, eBay. There's Facebook pages dedicated to this stuff. Another option is to get an old t-shirt and cut it up and make a patch that way. And the last thing we'll need is a back patch, meaning just a large patch which will cover a majority of the back. Now that we got our stuff, let's get down to business.
So the first step is to put the back patch on. We are going to pin it in place and sew it on. The purpose of pinning it in place is so it doesn't move around in the sewing process. It makes the job much easier to do, trust me.
Sewing machine is probably one of the easiest and fastest ways to apply patches on, especially for these large square back patches. So to start off, we'll start in one of the corners, place it down, put the needle in, and do it a couple times just to make sure it's going in. And then we could start automatically doing it fast.
Like magic? No, not really. All it is, it's a foot lever underneath the table I'm working on, and it makes the sewing machine go rapid like it is.
You're going to want to go ahead and do it all in one stitch line, so just do exactly as I'm doing.
Just keep it along the border of the patch with the same stitching thread. It keeps this stitching job looking cleaner and keeps it on well. With sewing machines, you have to cut the thread every time you sew each patch, so it's a bit of a pain, but I prefer it over hand doing it anyway. The video was sped up of course, but it took me about 10-15 minutes to put on that large back patch. Alright, now that the back patch is on, I recommend pinning all of the other patches in place where you want to put them. This keeps everything neater and guarantees that you'll have place for the other patches. But again, this is just my recommendation. There truly are no rules. Now for the small patches, just sew them on as you did as the big back patch. Go around the border on the same stitch line. This keeps them looking stitched clean and keeps them on pretty good. Small, square, or rectangle patches such as this, they sew on pretty fast. I would definitely say under 5 minutes. But for shaped ones or embroidered patches, they take 3 to 5 times longer. I'll show examples in just a sec. I'll also give you a different view on how I'm sewing these. I'll give you a close-up later on in the video. This behemoth patch right here I actually made myself. It's not too hard to do. I'll post a video later on my page and you can check it out there. The part where you see the rips in the denim, just treat it as if any other patch and just keep sewing as normally. It'll stay on fine. Now here's where I was talking about the weird shape or the embroidered ones. These ones definitely take 3 to 5 times longer. So it's a stop and go turn kind of game. When there's a small little turn, you have to just slightly turn the jacket, keep turning, stop, turn, stop, turn so, stop, turn so. It just keeps repeating the cycle, so they take quite a bit longer. This one took me about 15 minutes. Even patches like the small Slayer one, any twists, turns, curves, or anything that you see like in this patch, they take 3 to 5 times longer. They're a little bit of a pain, but gotta get it done. I've always had a hard time memorizing this formula for geometry class, so I decided to just sew it on for reference. This anthrax patch was a little bit of a pain too, just because of all the twists and turns in it. So for reference, patches like this, again, take 3 to 5 times longer. Here's that close-up that I promised so you can get a better view. While I'm sewing these last few on, I'll give you a piece of advice. Try and keep your finger away from the needle. You don't want to prick yourself and make yourself bleed, which I've done many, many times, and it is painful. Oddly shaped ones like this can be a pain, but after you do it for a while, you kind of get used to it. Now for this Hatebreed one, I decided to cut some corners, and instead of sewing every flame, which would be very tedious and take much longer, I just sewed right below the flame. It is still on there and it is not falling off. It doesn't look bad either. So making life easy is not a bad thing, is what I'm trying to say. Just so you have an idea on round circular patches, they too can be done with the sewing machine. This was filmed on a different jacket, my personal jacket actually. It is just tedious and takes a little time. Has to be entirely hand spun, but definitely can be done. That's all the footage I have, but before you leave, my question to you is, how do you guys make your jackets? Do you make your patches? Do you buy them? Steal them? Sew them? Pin them? How do you do it, and what makes your jacket the best? That'll do it for this episode of Metal and Stone. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll get back to you. Keep it hard, keep it heavy, and most importantly, stay metal, my friends.